Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Polkadot. This is going to be the low time frame video. We did a higher time frame video earlier today. Up above here, you can see the link. Check it out if you are more interested in the higher time frame moves. Okay, so let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so primarily I want to talk about the bullish case here, where we're looking at this as potentially a 1 and a 2 or an A and a B, looking for a C wave up towards the zone of this $8.28 or a third wave up to this 1618 here of this 1116 area. Now this is still viable for as long as we hold this zone of this $4.83. It is possible we could see an additional drop here, which would actually look to bring us down one more time, but at the moment we need to also just be cautious that we could start to see some impulsiveness to the upside. So there isn't really a lot to go off of with this at the moment. It's not really showing anything that is overly confident in saying that we're looking to break to the upside, but what I would be looking out for here would be the potential that we could actually see a pushback to the upside here, where we're treating this as an A, a B, and a C. Now, if this had to push up past this 1618 here of this $5.74, what we could actually then count is this is a 1, 2, looking for this as a third, fourth, and a fifth, looking to potentially bring us up into this $5.88 to this $5.79. Now, if we did see this actually play out as a 5-wave structure, what we would then be looking for is actually a 3-wave move back to the downside, looking to find support above these zones, and then looking for this continuation to the upside. So that would be how we'd be looking to actually break out from the zone. What we need to be cautious of, however, on the smaller term time frame here, is that we could actually still have this playing out to the downside as this ABC, in which case we could see this push back up here towards this $5.47 to this $5.35. For as long as we actually remain below this zone of this $5.56, we need to be cautious, because what we have here is a 5-wave structure to the downside, and this could actually just become a B, and a C. Now, if this breaks to the downside here, what we could actually see is the potential that this becomes 1, 2, a bigger third, fourth, and a fifth, which could look to bring us down here towards this $4.76 to this $4.67. So this would be in the shorter term here. Now, what we would be looking for here, if I come back out here onto the 4-hourly, I'm looking for a couple of things. So the bullish point of view would be looking at maintaining this $4.83, and we're looking to push to the upside like this. We could also argue that within this count, what we could rather see is something along these lines, where we're forming a triangle here, in which case what I would be looking for would actually still be the potential to come down one more time. So if we see this move break down here one more time, this could actually tie into the idea that from further back here we have this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is a 5th wave. So looking for the zone of this $5 to this $4.85. Now, if we do see this push down into this zone, what we'd be looking for then is a 3-wave move to the upside for this D wave, looking to actually target out the zone of this 366 to this 656 area. Now, this triangle could also potentially be the other way around, in which case this would actually be our E wave if this is the case. So we need to just be aware of that if we do actually get this push up here, this could end up being an E wave, and then we could still see a break to the downside rather. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. If we do move up here and we get a 3-wave move back to the downside, this would then give us the potential of this E wave reversal, and then looking to push to the upside from this $5.44 to this $5.39 area. So this would be what we're looking for as a triangle here. Now, we also need to be aware that if we do start to form 5-wave structure to the upside, what we could still see is the potential of this just being an A, a B, and a C. So this is why I'm looking out for this potential structure, or the potential turnaround from this area here. We have actually come down into this golden pocket here already, and if we're looking at this as a ABC for a W, this is an X, and this is a Y, it could actually mark a completed move. But like I said, there's not enough to go off of here to say that we are getting a reversal. There is the potential this could become 1, 2, 1, 2, but we'd need to see a move up here first for more confidence that this is actually what's taking place. And what we'd want to see is actually a bigger move up past this $5.87. A move past $5.87 would then make us count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'd be having to count this as an additional 1, 2 here, looking for this additional 4 and a 5 here. Now, that could actually look to bring us back into this top channel line here towards this $6.25 area. So I'd be keeping an eye on that if we do look to push up here. Now, obviously, there are many ways of counting this at the moment. We need to be careful. If we are looking at the bearish scenario, where we're actually looking to break down what we could see is two things. This could either be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which would tie into that idea of having that ABC pattern down towards this $5.42. Now, the key thing is here is if we do just form a smaller three-wave move to the downside here, if we then get a three-wave move to the upside here, which actually fails to break through the 717 area to the 631. This could tie in with actually being in a more impulsive move here, where either this becomes 1, 2, and then we see a bigger third wave, which would be looking for this 322, or this becomes A, B, and then we see a bigger C wave down towards this 426. So this would be looking at that possibility of breaking down directly. Now, we could also argue that this is extending, where we argue this is 1, 2 here, and then actually we have subdivisions within here as a 1, 2. So this would be the more bearish situation. So within this count, what we'd be looking out for is that even if we do see a push to the upside, where this is we form a B wave here, and then we see a C wave to the upside, we'd still need to be cautious that really, as long as we remain below the $6.06, we could actually start to see this play out, where this is a 1, 2, and then we'd be looking for this bigger third wave to the downside. Now, the third wave would have to move to this $4.20 for confirmation, but would actually tie into actually having a direct sell-off. So this would be looking at the more bearish situation here, where actually what we're looking for is a fourth wave completed here, and we're looking to break down. So whether this plays out as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as a diagonal, then we get 3 waves up, and then we look to break down deeper, or whether this becomes 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we look for 3, 4, 5, in which case we'd get an additional fourth and a fifth here, which could look to push us down towards this key zone that we're looking for a third wave, which would be here at this 356. Pushing down to that 356 would give us more confirmation of this as a bigger impulse. So within this, we'd need to just be careful. On the micro scale here, we can see that we do have that potential that we could argue that this is A, B, and we see a C wave up here, where we could look to retest this area. But if we fail to break back above the 786, I would primarily be looking for continuation down. That said, however, if we did see a move up into this zone, as long as we maintain this low on the shorter term, even if it's not going to be an impulsive move, we could still see this play out as A. We'd get a retracement back down for B, and then we'd still see that C wave continue to the upside. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as time goes on here. But really, as long as we stay below this red box area, we need to be cautious of this idea of either having a single ABC down, in which case we reverse back to the upside, or if this does start to get more excited and we get a breakdown towards this 420, this would actually tie in with that idea that we're having a direct break to the downside, in which case we'd be looking for this $3.63 to this $2.86 as a potential target area. Looking at the weekly CPR points, we can see that we are currently still sitting below these central lines. Now, we have actually popped up here and come back down into this R1 line and found support again. If we continue to reject off of this, we could see a move down to this R2 line, which would be this 498, and then we have this lower range here of this 481. So this 498 would tie into that idea that we still have this as an A, B, and a C to the downside. So I would be keeping an eye on that level, as well as this yellow box area here, which is sitting between this $5.95 to this $5.20. This would be bringing us back into this little zone of support that we could find here, where we had some strong wicks out of. So we'd be keeping an eye on that as a potential area we could actually look to retest here. Now, if we did have to move down deeper, we have the R3 line here towards this 482. So obviously these are valid until Sunday night reset, so we need to just be aware that these will reset. If, however, we do start to see price action starting to break above this, we could potentially see a move up to this R1 line here, which is sitting at this 566, this S2 line at this 582, and this S3 line up towards this $6 range. So that would tie into those ideas of actually looking to see upside come in here. Now, if I just change over to the monthly, what we can see here is we are below these again. We have actually had a move up into the central line, and we've rejected. If we continue to reject off of this, this could tie into us actually coming back down to this R1 line, which would be this 498. this R2 line at this 465, or even this R3 line, which is sitting much lower here towards this $4.19. So I would be keeping an eye on that. If we do move down to this R1 line, we need to see, because price action can sometimes come down to this and then actually look to retest one of the higher S lines before actually looking for a trend continuation. Now, if we are looking at this and we say, okay, well, what happens if we do get a break back above this? Then we have some upward targets here of this 577, this 624, and then higher up here we have this 656 as a potential zone that we could look to retest. So I would be keeping an eye on these. If we start to break above these, we could start to see price moving to the upside. Alternatively, if we start to continue, or if we continue to reject off of this, it could signal that we have a bigger sell-off to come here. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.